Hey, welcome back to the Parrot Side podcast. Myself, Skills, 60s not in the building today, but we have a man like Rolz.
Yeah, it's good to be back.
But this guy in this life come out.
Yo, what it do, man?
And yo, we've got a special guest today. You know,
Extra special.
extra special. Our first guest, Rolz has been nice enough to bring along his babe. Olaitan, what's up?
Hello, everyone. How are you guys doing? Hope you're all fine.
This is I'm actually gas.
Hey.
I'm actually gas. Our
I'm
first
glad
guest.
to be here.
Yeah, I used to.
Jesus, guys,
This is
let's
great,
go.
bro.
Let's go. So hey, let's just start off with the drama. Rolz has brought his babe. Ew. Let's
We've
start
been
with
disturbing
this.
Rose
Yeah,
for a long
why are
time.
you so excited?
Do you know what we should start with? Wait, do you know what we should start with? Because I don't even know if he knows the story. We should start with how Rose ghosted us
Yeah.
because
So,
of this thing.
so Rolz posted a picture on Instagram this one time now, and he
Yeah.
now tagged you Olaitan, like where. So basically, tagged your name where his heart would be. I don't know if you picked up on that. You probably did.
I saw it. I saw it. Obviously.
So before I even
saw
say what we did, how did you feel? I'm sure you were impressed. You know, what a nice gesture and everything. Yeah.
I was like, really good. I'll be surprised if you did it in any other place. If you tagged me on any other place, because like
Any place like where?
I
Ah, I can think of.
Yeah, I've started.
calm down. But yeah, I wasn't surprised because like that's where I am. Like I occupy a
You
lot of
know what?
space.
That's where
Can you hear the
are.
confidence?
Love
Yeah.
her boy.
Yo, can you hear the confidence?
Yo, she's coming with vim. You know. Yeah, I fuck with this.
Yo, that's you shy. Yo, this does not sound like someone that's gonna be shy.
I swear.
Yeah, I completely forgot we're recording for a minute, you know.
Yo, you guys
Decide
actually,
what's
you
going
guys
on.
seem like a chill couple. So who wears the pants
Yeah.
in your relationship? I thought I was just gonna go to the juicy stuff. What
kind of question is
we
that,
waiting
bro?
for? Let's get to it. Fuck it. Let's get to it.
To answer that now.
Wait. Can you explain the question? Because I don't even know what you mean by who wears the pants.
Who wears the pants in the relationship? Like, you know, who usually leads the way? Who is the flower and who is the gardener? What y'all thought y'all was just gonna come here and chill? No. You know I was gonna ask some questions, boy. What's up?
Okay. Well, I'd say that I guess I'd say it's mutually exclusive. There are certain moments where I'm the flower and she's the gardener, and vice versa. She's the flower and I'm the gardener. And I guess like that's the best way it works, because if we're both flowers and one is just flowering or one is just pouring water on the other and the other is not doing the same, eventually one party does wither because it's not being given enough nutrients. So like we
Rose is
both
spitting,
try our
bro.
This
best
guy is
to
good.
Rose is spitting,
we
bro.
both try our best
I'm
to
proud of you, baby. You did well. You did well.
It's good.
so yeah, that's how it is.
Come on, tension them small now.
Nah, I'm good, bro. Let's get into it.
Let's get into our main theme of the day. So we're talking societal norms. Societal norms obviously is broad. So we've narrowed it down, you know, obviously as Nigerians, we know how it is growing up. Our parents, they become doctors, want to become lawyer. In fact, they try and like basically push us into reading particular things in university and stuff like that. So we're here to discuss, you know, why, what's the reason behind it, advantages, disadvantages. What do you guys think?
Rose.
Oh, okay. Who's going first?
So let the guests go first.
Wait, yeah, go
Olaitan,
first. Yeah, let her go first.
Yeah, Olaitan, please.
Okay, for me, I feel like first of all, that is bullshit. Like, why? Why do you have to like force
Wait, may I ask what you do, but
your
are you
own
like
views? What?
May I ask what you do? Are you like a doctor, lawyer, any of
Oh no,
those?
no, none of that. I'm more into like sales, yeah. But I actually did electrical engineering,
Oh, you're an
and that was
engineer.
Wow.
my dad. But yeah, I
Okay.
still enjoy both. I'm more inclined towards the sales, and I really like working with people. So yeah, I feel like forcing your views or forcing your choices on someone does not make any sense. Like it is not just I don't know. I just feel like it is not necessary because at the end of the day, it's just going to stress the person. It's just going to put the person under unnecessary pressure, especially if the person
Mhm.
doesn't because the person doesn't enjoy it, obviously. And sometimes like
Okay.
some people are just, but like not everybody is able to adjust. So it's just like too much pressure for one person, and like you really don't know how the person is handling it. You're just saying, oh, you have to do this. If the person is not like getting like the results you want from me, like if the person is not, oh gosh, I need to calm down. I
No,
feel
I know
like
no,
what
I'm
you
go off,
mean.
go
I
getting
know.
off, go off.
I feel like I'm getting triggered because my dad actually made me do engineering, but at some point I started to
Aha, that's
enjoy
what I
it.
was going
So
to
like,
ask next.
I could tell. I could tell. Don't worry.
but yeah, it's not really it doesn't make any sense. You like allow them to try different things, like allow your kids to try different things and whatever they want to pick at the end of the day, like it's entirely up to them. You don't need to stress
Mhm.
about because at the end of the day, most of the African parents I know, they feel like, oh, if you don't move into like this career path, like you're not going to like make anything good out of your life. You're not going to get the perfect job. You're not going to stay in the perfect house. You're not going to be like the role model to your
Mhm.
younger ones and all of that. But at the end of the day,
You
people
know what
succeed in
though?
like different career paths. So it's
Facts,
not a
facts.
linear, it's a path. It's not linear. So like it can be like it is wavy. You don't have to go in one direction. So
Uh-huh.
yeah, I
Mm.
feel that's what I feel.
Well, I don't know if you're triggered now. Then this pod is going to be mad because I've never started anything. But like, so I was going to ask about that. So your dad made you do electrical engineering. Cause I was wondering, you say you're more into sales. I was like, so why have you suddenly done engineering? You've got it. Are you done? You're done with school, yeah?
Yeah, I'm done.
So it seems like you're able to go through it, no problem. I'm just assuming. I don't
Mm.
know. You
No,
know,
no problem. Is subjective, bro.
there's no problem in the sense that at least you're done. Yeah, I mean, so I would let's flip the script because from a parent perspective, you know, what's the
Wait,
reason
wait,
you
wait,
would?
wait. Just before you like switch it, like there was something she said that I actually wanted to pick up on because she said when she was talking that sometimes like you're going through school, your parents have sent you to go and do this course
Mhm,
that they want you to do, and they don't necessarily know how you're adapting to it and how it's affecting you.
mhm,
And the thing is like that's very true because and it goes back to even primary school, secondary school. Do you know how many
Mm,
kids in Nigeria or even other countries that had learning disabilities that just never knew? And then whenever
Yeah.
they come home, their parents look at their
true.
report card and all they can do is shout at you and say, you failed, you did this, you're not working hard enough. When in reality, you could have other things that are impeding your development and learning. So I remember like one of my friends kind of told me like a story, something related to this. And I wrote a blog on it like this maybe like a year and a half ago, maybe. And after that came out, like you'd be surprised how many people came to me and said like, oh, they had dyslexia, they had dyspraxia, they had this, they had that, and just never knew till they got to university. But their whole lives, like they just thought they weren't good enough because their parents
is
used
that
to
a
shout at
function
them and
of
say,
what you're studying though? I feel like that's just slightly
no,
different.
no, no, that's what I'm no, but it's related to like your parents putting this high
Pressure.
expectation and standard on
I
you
see. I
and
see.
not knowing how you can react to it or if you can even ever adapt to what it is they
Mm,
want to do because they don't necessarily pay enough attention to the impact like what they're doing has on you. So
mm.
that's why I just wanted to but yeah, you can flip the script if you want.
Yeah, so because from a parent perspective, right, it's like you want your child to do better than you, and they're coming from a different generation where I mean, right now, I mean, you can make millions from TikTok or YouTube, but I think they don't like understand that, right? So they just want go to a job where you can make money, where you can be able to provide for your future family and blah, blah, blah. So I feel like that's the perspective. But every parent is different, but I feel like if you then come with a presentable case of saying, I'm going to do this and it's going to get this money because blah, 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 I feel like they might be more receptive. Although I do agree that most African parents are just like, do this and, whether you can cope or not, it is what it is. I mean, but if you just flip the script for that second, it's probably because you want your child to do well. I guess, because if you've hustled all your life, I mean, and then your child just comes say, "Oh, I want to make videos on YouTube," it's like, bitch, I mean, but I brought you here, this far, and blah blah blah. So that's like that aspect of that I think. So is it acceptable? I don't know, but I feel like they do have a bit of ground though to see.
They do
Yeah.
actually.
I don't know.
I mean,
Rose,
still, you're doing a profession that's less
yeah,
mainstream.
exactly. So for me, right, like when I said, okay, I wanted to do this, like my mom was outrightly like, no, like that's like, nah, like you're not doing that. So
And then what
I
happened?
think that's, yes, she was straight up like, nah, and no, like, no, of course not. Popsy was like, let the boy do what he wants to do. I mean, and in this life, I'm all about, you have to have fun. So if they didn't let me do that, I'd have forced my way to go and I'll go and play football because like I have to at least do what I'm doing.
Okay, wait. If they don't allow you to do what you're doing, it will allow you to play football.
No, I'd have gone to play football. Well, I don't know if they would have allowed me, obviously, but like, I'd
God,
have
look
at
at this
least
broke
tried.
man at 16 saying he's going to go out and play football. What money?
Yeah,
Look at this.
yeah, but imagine I would have made it.
You know the thing, now parents are more open. Like parents are more open. They see that, oh, it doesn't just have to be like you being a doctor or a lawyer or anything like that to like make it. They're seeing other people that have decided
They're
to
seeing it,
follow
exactly. So
their
there's proof.
passion. They're seeing it, so they're more relaxed when you say you want to do these things. They'll just maybe give you a couple of years, and if you don't like show results, they're like, oh, please switch back.
So for you now, like to say, like as a parent now,
Mm.
I assume you want to be a parent someday, yeah?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So say your child then says, they don't want to be a doctor, they don't want to be a lawyer, maybe they want to, I don't know, like do OnlyFans or something. What was your
No, no.
response?
Come on, bro.
Wait, no, it means it's not professional.
This guy went to like one
No.
other
Let me
extreme.
push. Let me push
He
the
didn't even
wall
build
a
it
bit.
up. Like this guy just went to the extreme end.
No. It's because it's not. It's we're talking societal norms, right? That is outside of the norm. I mean, but that's something that can also bring in money. So what?
No, but
What?
like I feel like it's an easy answer because like religious perspective just wouldn't work,
No,
So it's just like
she just created the impression that people are more open now. Therefore, we should be open to all.
oh
So
yeah,
now,
oh yeah, let her answer. Let
now,
her answer.
Okay, so there's a difference between being more open and being like outrightly stupid. Because a normal parent, like
Mhm.
you know that it's different if you say, oh yeah, I want to start maybe oh, what can I even think of? What is something that seems really stupid, but like parents
Maybe
will
YouTube, maybe like a YouTube or something.
YouTube is now mainstream
okay.
though.
Exactly. If you say
Nah,
YouTube,
in
people
what
will be
country?
like, oh, if you say YouTube or if you tell your parents, oh, I just want to create content, that's why I was like, they give you like a certain amount of time to see if this thing actually makes sense. If you're producing, like if you're bringing home the money, now
Mhm.
they actually give you they give you time, Sha, to see if this thing makes sense. But something like OnlyFans, you don't just like no normal parent. Okay, some
Mhm.
parent. Okay, no normal parent is going to
Be
answer if you
careful
say
now.
you want
Be
to start.
careful there.
Do you know the thing I asked? Because like in my area here, like there's a house a couple blocks down. Somebody bought that house, very expensive house. You know the person does OnlyFans. So obviously it seems like anybody can make money anyhow. That's why. So if the child is coming back like, no, but I'm making cash though. It's like, now what? I mean, I'm not saying I know what I would do if I was a parent in that situation. Honestly, I'll just be confused. Because like
Really?
that's a tough one.
Well, it actually depends on your values. Like some people
Exactly.
don't see a problem with it. Like some people think that, oh, this is normal. Like, but for me, I don't think I'm going to allow my kids do that because I don't see it as something that's normal. Well, some people don't have a problem with it.
Okay.
Rose, what you saying? OnlyFans?
Well, obviously, I have to back my baby on this one because, like,
Yo.
Better.
like, mm, like she said, it all boils down to individuals' values, and we all don't have the same parents. So some parents might see it and like, oh, yeah, go ahead. And I even watched one video where this guy, he did OnlyFans and he used like the money that he gained to pay to pay off his sister's student loans.
Oh
And,
yeah, I saw
and
that.
like,
That dirty
yeah.
money? Oh shit.
And like the guy's mother was there and she didn't seem to have like an issue with it. And also like some people's parents might be comfortable with their kids doing it. I mean, like once you're an adult, you make your own decisions. I know. But then on this side of the world, we know how our parents are towards such things, and especially considering the fact that like a lot of our parents are very, very religious. And part of the things that we learn in scriptures are the rights or the noble or honorable ways to make money and all of that. So definitely that's like a key factor in people's selection of career choices. Although then definitely there always be people that be rebellious. Like you know that your parents wouldn't agree with you doing these kind of things, but I'm just like, man, it's my life. You guys don't have any hold on me. You can't stop me from making my own decisions
Facts, full on, yeah.
as well. So that's pretty much how it is. Then in terms of like the whole doctors, lawyers, well, as much as like we know that okay, we should be allowed to like make our reasonable choices, reasonable in quotes. Our parents also understand like the need for that financial security. That's why they push us towards like certain roles, like be a doctor, be a lawyer, so that like you can be financially secure and all of that. So that's one of the things that might influence their decisions into making their children push into these rules. But at the end of the day, like the world is constantly changing. So because like everybody was pushing for being a doctor, like maybe a good 8 to 10 years ago, like you look at today now, people are on YouTube, people are into tech, people are doing different things apart from the regular professions, and like they are still making it big. So at the
Okay,
end of the day,
let me ask you a funny question too with that. So if we are now saying everybody is making it big, right? As a child, let's be honest, school is not fun. I mean, for the most part, it's not really fun. So are children then allowed to then have like an escape route? Like, okay, well, if all else fails, I can always do YouTube, or I can always try this, I can always try that. Because I feel like that's then the culture you create. Because everybody does YouTube now. Like everybody has YouTube now.
well,
So
I personally I don't think that should be encouraged. Education is important, whether or not you want to be a YouTuber or a dancer or whatever. We all need that basic education because at the
do
end
we
of the day,
though?
yeah, we do. Let's be
Elon,
honest.
I don't
We
know.
all need
Bill Gates didn't go to school, he dropped out.
that's cap. That's what they always want to tell you. But
You say
Bill
Bill
Gates has
Gates.
a
No, he
level.
went back. He went back.
Exactly. Can you see? He went back. So
Okay,
at the end of the day, like we all need some sort of education because you don't just wake up one day and discover that you have knowledge. Like we all need that little education, go to school, learn some things. And even though like there are some people that yeah, they maybe they might not have had the best of formal education that are making it big, having that education will always give you an advantage. Well, not always, sure, but like it
to
gives
give you
you
to give you
yeah,
something for sure.
yeah. So education is important irrespective, and especially when you want to apply for jobs and all of that, because it's not everybody that will end up being a creative, it's not everybody that will end up having a business. Some people thrive in working environments where they are pretty much a crucial cog in the organization's functioning. So without their education, they might pretty much as well be putting in their own contribution to society, making the world a better place. So at the end of the day, that education is still important.
Actually, before Kamal talks, let me quickly add this because you mentioned about having a business. I don't know if it's just me, but it feels like everybody in this generation is like, oh, you work and work and work, and eventually you have your own business. I don't know why there's this sudden push for everybody to have their own
I
business.
feel the same way, bro.
Guy,
Like
I'm like,
everyone
no, I
always,
like
always.
facts, guy. See, like Kamal, you for example, that eventually, you have your own law firm. But it's like, no, but what if you don't want to do that? Like,
Exactly, and I don't actually.
exactly,
And
like,
people are always like, "Why wouldn't you want to open your own?" I'm like, I don't even know how much desire I have to even practice law in the traditional
guy,
sense.
like. I don't
Why you
understand
niggas
why
think I want to open a
everybody,
chamber?
yeah.
Like, I don't want to open a chamber, bro. I have no intention of doing that.
Yeah.
I feel you, I feel you, I feel you, I feel you. Come on, who is it?
Yeah. So yeah, this is one of those things that I feel like is well intentioned from the parent perspective, but like that intention sometimes is slightly misplaced because whilst they want all of us to have professional jobs like lawyers and doctors and engineers, the problem is everybody else and our grandmothers and our grandfathers also have the same thinking for their own children. So what ends up happening is you have a convoluted workspace. So in law school now, right now, there's like 4,000 or like 5,000 students. And I can assure you that there are not 4,000 or 5,000 spaces in law firms available right now. So all those people that took law for 5 years plus law school, another extra year, 6 years, what are they going to do after they graduate? You know, like they're not going to get jobs in law. Like it's just not possible. And the same thing goes for like doctors and engineers, at least in this country, even though there are shortages in other countries, but in this country, there's no shortage anywhere. So what I would say is I feel like parents, if your child, if that's the route your child wants to go, like a lawyer or a doctor, I think you can encourage it and you should want them to do it because like Olaitan said at the beginning, like there's financial security, and so that's the main reason why people want you to go that route because of the security attached to it. But I feel like if your child has a different passion and a different ambition, I don't think you should force them to go down the route that everybody else is going down. Because one, they won't have the motivation to do it, and two, even if somehow they find the motivation, they get good grades, that doesn't necessarily mean they want to do it as a career. They might still end up branching off and doing something else, which they could have been doing a lot earlier if you just allowed them to follow their passion from the beginning. So it's the culture we live in, and it's the
Facts,
culture
no,
in
facts.
most minority societies around the world. But I don't think it's necessarily right totally, even though it's well intentioned.
Okay.
Yeah.
But kind of,
There's something else. Oh,
sorry, go
sorry.
on. No, you go on, go
I'm
on.
speaking. Okay, so there's something else that just crossed my mind. The thing is that even if you want your kids to like go in a certain path, there is like I feel like you guys can meet in the middle. So before I got my current job, I got an offer. So the company, what they do, they make generators and they sell. It's an
Mhm.
engineering company. But I told the HR guy that I was more interested in with people talking and all of that. Sales department of that same firm. So you're just mixing like your engineering with sales.
Yeah.
So I feel like to learn to like consider that you don't it doesn't have to be like the career. Like you can move to a different part of that same field. So
Yeah.
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 I feel,
And
yeah.
then, like even for me, like before I did law, like in my when I first got to SS1 or yeah 10 or whatever you guys call it, wherever you are, my parents wanted me to do like science, like physics, chemistry, biology, technical drawing that I fucking hated. Like that's what my parents wanted me to do because they were like science courses are more versatile. Like you can do a lot more than art class. But me, the whole time I'm like, "Yeah, I have no interest in this. I'm not very good at it to begin with. Self, I'm not even very good at it, and I have no interest in it. People think just because you have a brain and you did well in, because I was in the way our school works, like A class, like the top I think 20 people in the year went to A class, and then the rest got shuffled across B, C, and D. So because I'm in A class, in class my GS3, teachers will come in and they will want us to finish math textbook. And the assumption is you're in A class, so you're very good at math.
So
And I
you
hated
must be
math.
sharp. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And I hated math. And there's this thing we do in Nigeria that if you're smart, that means you're good at math. I don't know.
Yes, yeah, and I'm
But
like, what's the
from.
competition?
Like you, I'm not good at math and I'm an English guy. Like I like arts, social science. Like, that's what I like. So when my parents came for visiting that first visiting in SS1, if you see drama in school, by the time I got to the dormitory after visiting, everybody in my year knew about what happened because my parents were going off about how I'm doing arts and I'm not doing science, and they wanted to go and meet the teacher and make me switch halfway through the term, and I'm like, I'm not doing that. Like, like literally, this was one of the first times I think I had to fight my parents over something. Like, my dad was more understanding at the time. My mom was the one that was really pushing for the thing.
Yeah, usually, yeah.
And then fast forward, how many years later now? Then I've gotten my law degree and I finished law school and all these things. And they're like, okay, fair enough. They can admit when they were wrong. Because at the end of the day, it's like science is not the be all and end all. Like, you guys might be good at chemistry and all that, but I'm not good at it, bro. Like, just allow your child do whatever they want to do, man.
Okay. Before we move into, because what I then want to vibe on next is like, okay, so when you are now a parent, how will you then approach certain situations? What will you do different and blah, 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 blah. But to be honest, what I really want to then go into is there really any advantage to having children in the first place? Like in this day and age we live in,
Nigga.
why do people desire to have children? I mean, let's be honest, the world is already overpopulated. So if you want to have a child, you're just being selfish. And like, I'm just saying. So let's start from Rolz. Rolz, is there any advantage to having children? Yes or no? I know you want to go into a long presidential speech. Just say yes or no first, then I'll prompt you.
Yeah, I'd say yeah.
You say yes. Okay,
Yeah,
come on.
personally, I want to have kids.
I know you. No problem. Come on, what you said?
What's the question?
Is there any advantage to having children in this day
Of
and
course,
age?
there's advantages. What do you mean?
Any useful advantages, or I guess
Yeah, I say
advantages.
useful. Yeah, I say children are useless.
Bro, wait, what do you have against kids?
Hey, listen, hey, I have a lot to say. Yeah, I mean, but I'm just saying, is it worth it? I guess I should phrase that question. Is it worth it having children, both in the short
Okay,
and long term?
bro, what you mean? Is it what I
I've
mean?
not started the debate
Okay,
yet. Don't worry, we'll debate. I'll
on a,
tell you
on
my
a
points.
okay, on a person by okay, this is obviously very subjective, but like I feel most people in Nigeria anyway would want to have kids. Like
Because
apart
that's what
from
society, especially in Nigeria, dictates. I mean, so when
to
people
a
no,
degree,
but it's true.
yes.
But when I've met people that then say I don't want to have children, and then it's like, oh wow, like no, there must be something wrong with you, and I'm like,
Yeah, that's
no,
what I said
though.
to a degree. Yeah. There's that, but if you look at especially you guys are in America and whatnot, like it's not a societal or it's less of a societal norm there to have kids. Like there's
Okay.
many people that just choose not to have kids. There's many people that choose to not even get married. Like they just have
True,
partners their
true,
whole life.
true.
So like all these like societal norms don't dictate life in modern society as much
That's
as
fine.
they
That's
used
why.
to.
So I'm about to balance the advantages with the disadvantages. We're about to have the discussion. But before that, Olaitan, what do you think? For kids, no kids?
Well, yeah, I want to have kids.
Okay. And there are
How many
practical
babies?
advantages. It's worth it long term, short term. Yeah.
I don't know if it's worth it, but like,
Uh-uh. Wait. What do you mean?
No, let me at least have somebody on my side before we enter the debate. So,
That's what I asked her.
yeah.
What does she mean first? Let me understand
What
what
do
she
you mean? What do you mean by that?
if you think of it, like, there's really, you don't want someone coming to change your life. Like
Facts.
when
Thank
you
you.
have
Yo.
kids, wait, when you have kids, like everything
feels.
changes.
Relax.
But
Facts.
at the same time, I want to have kids because I've just been conditioned. Like I've just been,
Because you've been conditioned as a societal norm.
yes, you have to have kids, you have to do this. But like it's really no pressure.
But why
But
can't we challenge those
it's no,
societal norms? Why do we still have
Rose, is
to?
eh,
there no pressure?
there is no
There's no
pressure,
pressure.
but like as long as you have
Rose,
your kids.
Rose,
Come
is
on,
there
There's
no
no,
man.
there's
pressure?
no pressure. There's no pressure now.
No pressure.
We'll have those babies, but there's no pressure.
Yeah, beautiful baby.
Yeah,
Wink.
yeah.
Relax. Doing that here. I now
Nah.
here's the thing. Let's take it step by step. Okay, so is there any advantage? I'm sure there is. Like self-esteem,
Uh,
uh, there's something that would at least love you for maybe at least the first 5-6 years.
Something that would love
This is
you.
something.
Like, maybe at least for the first 5-6 years. Well, let's be honest, First of all, obviously, the most important thing is finance. These
Uh-huh.
things are expensive. But remember, it's more than just Pampers.
Why are you
It's
calling them?
I'm sorry.
Wait.
These kids. No, I'm trying not
Uh,
to. Yeah. These children are expensive. Remember, it's more than just Pampers. It's school, clothes, transportation, medical bills, babysitters. I don't know, lesson teachers. Yo, like, how much is school fees these days? Like, how much?
Do you know the sad thing? The sad thing is that after spending all of that, like we don't really have control of how they are going to turn out. Like
Exactly.
one person can just decide, oh, I want to mess up my life.
Like, they can
And
still
you are
fall by
sitting
the
there
wayside.
like,
Exactly.
I give you everything. I give it, but why? The person is just like, oh, I don't want to do what you want me to do. Like, I'm switching. I don't want to behave how you want me to behave, and I'm just going to do what I want. And you have no control over it.
Facts. That's what I'm saying. So
Still,
where's the advantage there? Huh?
your issue is the financial cost.
That's one of my issues. I'm not done. There's many other
Continue,
issues.
continue.
No. Feel free to cut me off because I'm gonna go off.
Nah, go off. Like, talk your shit.
Oh,
Let you-
okay. So issue number one, finance. These kids are expensive, guy. Like, if I have a child today, we went to Greenwood. I don't know how this child would like. I cannot pay for Greenwood. She's expensive. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So out of all the things I just said, school clothes, transportation, medical bills, now let's be honest, they're human beings. So humans are complex, things can go wrong. I know there's technology now that you can see the child will have, certain issues, maybe for example, like Down syndrome and stuff like that before they are born. But all these things that you never really know what might happen to a human being, like, it's a lot financially. And let's be honest, your child can grow up to be great. Maybe they can be the next president of Nigeria, but there's also a chance that they can be terrorists. Like, anything can be. Anything is possible. I mean, so financially tragic. Time, your life basically until that child goes to uni is just focused on that child. Every move you make is for that child. If I'm hanging out now, I'm doing a podcast for you guys, I have a child. One, I might not be able to do the podcast. Or two, I say, okay, let me go out. I can't go out without finding the babysitter. Like, you get stress, man. It's ridiculous,
Wait,
Career
is it safe to say you don't want kids?
No, I'm not. That's not what I said. I'm just saying.
That's what I'm asking.
No,
You should already know this now.
No. I didn't say I don't want kids. Wait, come on.
age.
Do you ever? Rose said maybe come on. What do you want kids?
Nah, I'm asking you, nigga.
If you man do it first, I'll do it.
Wait, so you having kids is dependent on us?
No, I'm just playing. I
That's
haven't
it.
decided.
This guy is actually not playing. He can actually say that he's not having kids until we have kids.
No, I'm playing. No, I'm playing. I honestly haven't decided that yet. Even
So after all the negatives you've just like laid out, right? Why are you still not sure if you want kids or not?
Well, I haven't decided that yet, like at all. Yeah, I mean,
I'm saying why?
Like,
if
I
it's
feel like no, like it would be nice to have. There are advantages, like I said, and because of all the disadvantages, which let's be honest, outweigh the advantages. If I have at all, it will be one. Yeah, I mean 1.5, max 2. Yeah, I mean, so that's that. So I was talking about the time burden, right? It's a lot and everything. And that even goes into a bigger thing of it depends on the societal norm would dictate that the guy has to go to work and the girl will stay home, take care of the child, and blah 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 blah. That is already still an issue. But we'll move on. Next,
stay at home mom still the norm in today's society.
it's still in our society, yeah, I think so.
Nah, I don't think so.
In Nigeria?
Yeah, even in Nigeria, I don't think because most Nigerian families can't afford one household income earner. So most Nigerian households literally
the girl might still go to work, the wife might still go to work, but she's still expected to do more on that caring side. Exactly. So if somebody needs to sacrifice, I'm not going to work today, it's then expected to be her.
Yeah, that's the norm, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Then career opportunities. Okay, maybe you get a job somewhere else in a different state or something. Now you gotta move. Now you gotta worry about this fucking kid. Yeah, I mean, you gotta change schools and shit. Like, yo, it's too much, man. It's too much. What if you're now married and then you have a child and it doesn't work out with your partner? Not the fuck. What about the kid? Now there's a kid involved. I mean, now what? Like, does the kid go with mom? Does the kid go with dad? You're basically just a zombie until the child goes to university. That's just the way it is. That's what it is. Okay, cool.
You know what's
I'm done.
crazy? After everything you said, yeah, I have siblings that have kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I stay with my siblings and I look at the stress, like all the shit you're talking about, like all the stress, all the changing pampers, all the this, all the that, and in my mind, I'm like, what the hell would you ever go through this, you know? And then I look at them as they're doing these things, and they're just like, yo, like this is the greatest thing that's ever happened to me, and
Okay, I don't know
that's
about
what.
that cap. Yeah. It
No, no,
depends
no,
on
no.
who.
Like honestly, most parents you speak to will tell you that like the
So
best thing that
you'll
happens to
be
them.
changing pampers with
Even
shit on
even the
it and you have a
parents.
smile on your face.
No, no, I'm not saying you have a smile on your face in the
That's what you
moment, but
just
like
said.
the wider benefits of having a kid and just having someone that came out of you that reflects you that you can groom into, at least try to groom into whatever it is you want your kids to be and continue your lineage and whatnot. Like having that person in your life, from what I've heard, because obviously I'm not a parent,
Mhm.
is one of the greatest things that happens. If most of them do say it's the greatest thing that happened to them. So as
But a lot
much
of them
as
also say otherwise too.
like who
There are people that would say otherwise.
I've,
That there are
I've,
people
I've,
that probably regret having kids.
I
Yeah,
haven't
there are
heard
people that actually hate
many
their children.
I haven't heard
Okay.
many people that had kids that wasn't like out of abuse or one unfortunate situation, like
Mhm.
consensually had kids that then later just like nah, like I
No, but
regret
that's the
having.
thing though. I mean, most people probably don't mind having kids when they're still like 2, 3 years old or something, you know. But let's be honest, children are sometimes fucking annoying. Yeah, I
No,
mean,
of
like,
course, yeah, yeah. But if you took
yes.
a survey of society, I'm
Uh-huh.
sure like percentage would be like widely swung into the direction of people think kids are a
Uh, no, no,
Do you know the thing? The thing with what skills is even talking about is like all of those stuff that you mentioned, how having kids is a gamble. That's pretty much life you just described, guy.
exactly,
Because
exactly.
even if you don't have kids,
No,
what's the
it's a
guarantee
gamble.
that
No, no, no,
what's
no,
the
Rose, you're
guarantee
right.
that your life is still going to be better
No, Rose, you're right. I'm saying
without
it's a
those skills?
gamble. But when you want to take any gamble, you weigh the pros and cons, right? But now we're in a
Uh-huh.
situation where they're like the cons just heavily outweigh the pro. Like there's no real
I don't agree
advantage.
with that though. Like,
Okay, tell me an
what is
advantage then. Tell me.
bro? What are you living for? Like all this money you want to make and all this
Uh-huh.
like shit you want to do with your career. Like, what's the end goal with all this?
So what you saying? The end goal is to spend it on your children. That's what you're
I'm,
saying.
ask, I'm asking. I'm asking like, what's the purpose of
No,
being
now
rich and
I'm
doing all
doubling it
this shit
back
if
to
you
you. What
can?
is the end goal for you to spend it on your children?
Answer his
I feel
question
like
on
I feel like
skills.
there's a wider purpose in life beyond just yourself, and I feel like kids is one of
Okay.
those. Like being able
Yeah.
to have a kid and then all your life's work going into something like literally your child is your life's work, an accurate representation of yourself, a living representation of yourself. I feel I don't get you, man. Like
Okay,
there's more to like life than just living and making money and
but
traveling. Like you get tired of
this
that
is
shit very
true.
quickly.
But I don't know. When you say your life's work, that's then suggesting that you've worked and worked and worked, and then eventually you have children. People have children at 16. They haven't done shit.
No,
I
no, no.
mean,
I'm not saying you have to work to have kids. I'm saying like there's a wider purpose in life beyond just your everyday going to work.
Yeah.
Like all this
yeah, no, and
mundane
I
shit that
agree
don't.
with that. And I agree with that, you know. But that doesn't then mean having children. Okay, outside of going to work every day and blah, 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 blah. I don't know. I know some people like they take years off work, they travel, they do this, they have like mad experiences.
How long do you want to do that?
Okay, okay, fine.
Why? How does having kids stop you from doing that? Obviously, unless you're
I mean,
like
it does
great
though.
financial. No, no, no. If you're in a great financial situation that you can only have, but I feel like anybody that can only afford a flight ticket for him and his wife and
Mhm.
cannot afford an extra flight ticket, maybe traveling in that moment isn't the best of fucking decisions
Decisions.
to
Yeah.
begin with. So like
No, but
anyone
like we
that
said though.
should be able to travel comfortably can
Uh-huh.
travel with the kid. Like honestly. So I don't really see that as being
I
an
mean, might have
inhibiting.
been able to, but if you spend half the fucking funds on school fees, I mean, I don't fucking know. But I see where you're coming from. But for me, like that's not like a rule. Like, give me something. I don't know. Olaitan, what do you think? Am I just waffling? What do you think? Honestly, what do you think?
Well, like you guys have said, like if you can't like provide for the kids and all of that, like there's really no point. And I don't think that your life, your work, all your life, you're working for your kids. Because like
That's
at the end
exactly.
of the
That's
day,
weird.
at the end of
No,
the
but you know
day,
what I said.
if you don't like think about yourself, I feel like your spouse comes before your kids. Because
You're Olaitan
um
spitting, you know.
That's interesting.
if
It's
if you
Let her
facts.
finish.
guys
Let her
focus,
finish her.
like if you guys put all your focus on your kids, like at the end of the day, you guys are not even going to know. You are not going to remember who you even married, because all your
Facts.
attention is going to go to the
Yeah,
kids,
like you
and at the
become
end of the day, the
completely
kids are going
different
to leave
people.
you.
Yeah, and that might now cause a problem because now you're
Wait,
different
Rose,
Yeah.
do you think your spouse comes before your kids?
people.
Obviously.
Come on, you think it's
No,
My wife
It's not
first before the
even
kid.
because of their relationship or whatnot, but like I'm
no, but
just
what do you
genuinely
think though? Yeah,
curious
actually, what do you
about
think?
his
Obviously,
opinion.
your spouse first before your kids, man.
Come on,
Like,
you don't.
No,
Come
Because I
on, you
feel
don't
like
agree with that.
no,
you and your
I don't
spouse
agree
are
with that
one,
at all.
and
Come on, you don't
then
agree.
you guys are.
No, no, you not at all,
Okay, wait,
bro.
Olaitan, hold on. So come on, let me put you in a situation. Say you're married now, your wife is having a child and everything, you know, and maybe go forbid there are like complications and stuff. So you can save one, the child or your wife. Who are you
No, in
saving?
that situation, I agree. In that situation, I agree, you guys.
No, you cannot agree in that specific situation. Is
No, I
one of
can't.
the,
I can't.
it's black or
'Cause-
white though, to be honest.
no, it's definitely not black and white.
Kinda is. It kinda is
No,
because it's
no,
about the
no, no.
mentality. So in that
Nah,
situation, you would what? You save your wife.
that's because you're talking about birth, right? Like you're talking about at birth.
Yeah.
At birth. Yeah, no, in that situation, I agree with you guys. But once they're born, after that, I don't
The
think
child
I
is more
agree with
important
that.
than your spouse?
Bro, a child. Do you know how much? Because you
No,
having
I'm
a
not
child.
saying you
You
won't
made,
care about the child.
no, no,
But
that's what I'm saying. You made a conscious decision to bring life into this world. You're the only person. Okay, maybe I'm not saying you're the only person that can take care of them, but it is your responsibility to take care of them
yes, correct.
because you're the one that made the decision to bring them into this life. If you're telling me that you're gonna prioritize your spouse in this exact same scenario that you've given me, let's
Uh-huh.
say they're both like five, the child is 5, like 5-year-old kid, and then
Mhm.
your spouse is however old she is, and then you get
Yeah,
involved in
not
an
five yet.
accident
Yeah.
and you can only
Uh-huh.
save one.
Yes.
In that situation, I feel like saving the kid is the right choice.
Really
Yeah, for me, in my opinion. 'Cause,
interesting. Because the
bro,
child is 5. The child has lived 5 years.
no, because the child was not asked to be brought into this life. You're the one that brought this
This
child
is
into.
true.
So you're
This
the
is
one
true.
that should take care of that child. Like literally, like anything that happens to that child is on you because you're the one that made that decision to bring a child into this life. So if you can't take care of the child, like one of you said earlier, don't
but
have
your
kids.
wife also didn't ask to be brought into this world, no?
That's facts. You
Yeah,
didn't ask to be brought. Now,
and
don't get
that's
me
a
wrong.
parent's
I acknowledge that would be a tough
uh,
decision, anyways, if
a
the
parent's
child is 5.
responsibility to take care of her kids. But like a
Mhm.
spouse, as harsh as this sounds, a
Yeah.
spouse is replaceable. I'm sorry.
The
Divorce
spouse
is
is what?
50%
What did you say?
of marriages end up in divorce. 50%. Let's not act like
Okay.
spouses are like this irreplaceable thing that
No, and I
once you
agree.
get like spouses and even if you get divorced,
Hmm.
a divorced couple can still take care of the kid. So it's not
Hmm.
like you have to be married to
It's
take care of the kid.
complicated though,
You
but
don't have to.
true.
It can be, but it doesn't have to be. But yeah,
Hmm.
like a spouse, like a spouse is way more. I want to use positive words in this sense. A kid for me has less ways of defending themselves. A kid has less autonomy over themselves. A kid needs you more than your spouse needs you. That's
Hmm.
my opinion. Because a kid needs you more than your spouse needs you, I feel like they should be prioritized ahead of them. That's what I'm saying.
That's a bit of a tough one still, man.
But yeah, Rose, since you guys have alternative opinions, Rose, why do you think your spouse comes before your kid?
I know this is going to be, this is a very controversial thing to say, but like
Hmm.
you can always make more kids. I know it's a very controversial thing to
I don't
say.
get married again though. So,
I know it's crazy.
so
It's crazy.
that's so
I
that
know
makes me
we
work.
can always get married
This
again, but
nigga said we
like,
can always pop out more, man. Fuck that one, but
yeah,
There's no stories I'm not
nah,
with.
guy, like,
you can
see,
only have that
I
one
feel.
spouse. If you find like a really special someone, yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, don't get me wrong. Like I said, I acknowledge it's a tough decision. If the child is 5 and one person gotta go,
It really doesn't matter
yo,
how old the kid. Once that kid is born, like I said, if it's at birth, the only reason why I say at birth, I would save the wife is
yeah, not at birth.
it's
This one, the child is 5, right? And you have to save
yeah
one. Like this scenario. Listen, man,
yeah.
I've known this kid for only 5 years, but I've probably known my wife for like 10. I'm like, yo, I don't know this nigga. Like,
I don't know you
That's,
like that,
I don't know
bro.
you like that, bro. Sorry.
I don't know you
yeah.
like
Okay,
that,
Rose,
bro.
continue. Rose, continue.
Yeah. See, I won't lie, it's a tough decision. It's a very, very tough decision. And to be fair, like if there was a third option, I'd probably
I'm actually
sacrifice myself and allow like both of them leave because I
I ain't doing
couldn't
that.
to be because at the end of the day, like see whatever decision you make, you always live to regret that decision.
Yeah,
Because
everybody
I
always
don't think
regrets. Yeah.
like as much as you love your spouse or you might love your child and you might say, okay, I want to pick my spouse or I want to pick my child. I don't know, the regret is too much. You might end up not forgiving yourself. And it's either one of two things. It might affect your relationship with your spouse, or it might affect your relationship with that child. Because at that point, there's a tendency that there might be some level of resentment.
So it's going
That like,
south either ways.
yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, if any small thing, if there's any misunderstanding, I'm just like, I really saved this idiot when I could have saved my wife. All of those kind of things now. Like, no, you know how people do whenever they're angry now. They just blurt out certain things. So like at the end of the day, like it might just be it'll be a tough one. To be
I
really
also don't
be
know why we limited this to like life and death scenario. Like it's
No,
such
it's not
an
limited to that. It first
it's such
started
a like
was
unlikely scenario. Like you have to save
yeah,
one
which
life.
is true,
It happens,
but
but
it's
it
still
rarely happens. So
okay.
let's
So
talk
let's
about more practical like life
okay. So
situation.
we're going back to the original thing of I said give me some advantages, but you haven't really given me anything tangible, anything like that can. Yeah, I mean like
I don't know
I
what tangible like the only tangible thing you can think of with kids
I
like
gave you
off the top of my
practical
head.
disadvantages.
That's
I
what I'm
said
saying.
finances.
The only tangible thing I can think of is okay, when you get older, you have someone that can take care of you, you have someone that loves you, you have someone that
Okay,
will
but if you
provide for
don't
you.
have a
That's the
child,
only
though,
like
there will be people that will take care of you and love you,
who,
right?
who?
Who?
Yeah.
You got like you'd have other family members. You'd have I don't know
No,
You
niggas,
like,
can't
friends.
control this.
not,
Like
not even compare
your
when your
child
child
can
is
grow up and
But
decides
your
to not
child might
even want
still
to
not
have
even
anything
like you.
to
That's
do
what I'm
with you.
saying.
that's
It's, it's
yes,
Exactly.
it's possible, but we're talking in general now. This is what you're saying advantages. So in general, that's an advantage, tangible advantage.
ah,
Like you
so
have
that,
someone that will
that
we're
take
assuming all things are equal.
yeah, all things equal. Yes, all things
they'll
equal.
take care
You
of
have
you
someone that will
when
take
you're
care of
old.
you.
Is
And
what
I
you're
can
saying.
help you out. Yes, that's what
Okay,
I'm saying. When you're
but
older,
what my point was like, you still have friends and you still have other family members that could do that. But I understand what you're saying.
friends have their own family, and if you're talking uncles and aunties, depending on the culture you're from, I'm sorry. Like anyway, let me not get myself in trouble here, but let's just leave
Okay. Any other advantages?
any other advantage, like tangible advantage to having kids.
Yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
companionship. There's that too.
What?
Companionship. Now, yeah, we have a companion.
But your spouse is your companion.
You can only have one companion.
You have extra.
Yeah, you can only have one companion. You got more than
You
one
know how
companion.
children these days, all they really want is their independence, to be honest. So once they're like age 9, 10, I mean, they're getting bullied in school, like realistically, they just want to be left alone.
Wait, Olaitan, do you live at home with your parents?
Yes, I do.
Okay, do you do things for your parents?
Uh, yes, when they want me to sometimes.
Okay, so
Uh,
if you were not there, right? How do you think they would cope?
but I'm not with that. I'm not with them 247, and like they get things done. Like most of the time, I'm not even with my mom, and like she does like her things herself.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain that
It
parents, like our
depends on
parents will
it
be
depends
fine.
on your parents too. Like
Mhm.
if you are totally dependent on your parents, I be on your children. Like I when they leave, that's why I'm like, oh, your spouse has to be like the one that gets most of your attention because you guys are one. Your children are going to leave. All my siblings are in school. My brother is done, I'm done, but my two sisters are still in school. And half of the time, nobody's with my parents. They're alone. So if like they couldn't do their things themselves, what are they going to be relying on at this time that everybody's not even around?
You know what's interesting? Like, one, I'm surprised I'm the only one that has this opinion. That actually shocked me because I feel like my opinion is the majority opinion from what I've seen in like social media and whatnot. So I'm surprised I'm the only one that has this opinion. But that aside,
no, I mean you're spitting though. I'm just saying like from a practical sense,
like for me being at home, right? Like because I've been in school, like you guys said, when all my siblings were in school or working, so my parents were pretty. They don't was here. Yeah, they only ones here for like a while. So I always wonder, like, yo, what did they do? How did they cope when like no one else is here? Because now that I'm around and my other brother is around, like we do we do a lot at home, and all my other friends that I know living with their parents actually do a lot. So I just always wondered, like, so for example, like if my dad now is retired, right? If you have a house that your family house you built for your kids, you retire, and then to maintain that house and all the other bills and all the other things that come with all your life's work that you work so hard to do. So if you don't have income coming in to like consistent income coming in, then you may need assistance. Instead of going to a friend or uncle or an auntie or a brother or someone or get a loan from a bank, you have kids who you've sent to school for how many years that I can help you out.
Perfect. Like, now that you said that, but what if your child is a waste man and there's no money? Or better yet, what if they're a victim to Nigeria's economy and they ain't got no job? Now what?
Yeah, that's fine too. That's still fine. Like it's still fine. There's other ways your child can help you. Just today, my dad sent me to like the bank to deliver like some shit because the driver was not around. There's shit like there's so many things.
So
like my dad is
almost
almost
houseboy roles. That's
bro. My dad at 70 years old, or almost 70 years old. I don't expect this man to be entering his car just to deliver an envelope to the fucking bank.
No, and I agree with you.
It makes bloody sense. Because you have kids that can help you do things like that.
No, and that's fair. If you have kids, use them. Free labor.
Free labor. That's an advantage.
Yeah.
Let's go with that. Free labor.
It's free labor.
Like,
it's free labor, but what I'm saying is you don't necessarily need kids for that. Like, now, me personally, if I'm older or whatever, I won't necessarily expect myself to be doing all these small runs. If I have children, send them. Fine. But if I don't, I don't know, people you can send.
Skills at 60, right? Let's say you're 60, 65. Your spouse passes away, no kids. What next?
She passes away.
Yeah,
okay. Well, how am I? Am I good? Am I in good health? Am I struggling? If I'm struggling, just end me too. Because I'll be honest,
what if you're good? You're good actually. You're good. Like you're actually good, but you're you're 65 now. And your spouse passed away, and you have this big ass mansion, 8 rooms or whatever you have. Well, maybe not 8 rooms because you didn't have kids. But you're in this big ass house. And it's just you.
Okay.
So, how do you think you would feel in that situation?
Yeah, I mean, it would be tough times still, but let me be honest though, because I know what you're saying. Children won't necessarily help because they still have to go and live their lives. They'll come and visit every once in a while. How it pops, and I'm like, fuck off. You know what I mean, what I would really want is my spouse back, not
yeah, but she's gone. Sorry, she's gone.
Which is fine, but what the kids gonna do? They ain't gonna do nothing.
Nah. What? Okay.
They are coming to visit me. Okay, now what? Now what?
Someone else, please. That is not skills. Please, someone else. In that situation, how would you feel?
No, I'm being practical. They've come to visit me.
Hey, you said your piece now. You said your piece. Let someone else talk.
This nigga doesn't want them kids.
Rolz, what you saying? Rolz, what you saying?
That's the situation. What you said?
Well, man, kids are essential, man.
No, in that specific situation, what do you think?
Is it the dad one going to the bank?
No, when you're 65 and maybe your spouse passes away. I mean,
okay.
Yeah. I say you don't have kids or you have kids. Now what?
Man, if you don't have kids, guy, it will be lonely as hell, man.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, but now that you do, what are they going to do for you? What?
What do you mean?
See, the thing about such situations is that, like, of course, if everything is okay,
Exactly. All
the
things
visits
being
from your children, yeah, all things being equal, if everything is okay, the visits from your children might not be as frequent. But like the
Mhm.
talk to
fact
them
that,
on the
like,
phone
oh,
still. You can talk to them on the
you
phone.
have lost your
Mhm.
you have lost, oh, mommy is dead. I
Mhm.
know. Obviously, the children will want to visit more, at least maybe even
Yeah.
spend some time. And
Yeah.
sometimes they
You
might
know,
even want you to come over, to come
Okay.
spend
holidays,
some
all these
time
things.
with.
Like, bro, like
Yeah.
this money. Like, what you mean?
Okay, but what does that do for you, dude? Now let me tell you why I'm asking that, because me personally, I think different. Like, if it's one of those ones where say they only visit, I don't know, once every 3 months, right? That's their
Mm-hmm.
normal. When
Mm-hmm.
their momsy was alive, right? Just
Mm-hmm.
once every 3 months. Now that their momsy is gone, my spouse, now they're now coming twice a month. Now, me personally, I'm like, okay, cool. It's good that you're here. It's good that you care about me. But maybe I just think different. I'm like, but I know you're only coming more frequently because you think of blah blah blah. And now you being here is now reminding me of the fact that my spouse is gone. So now I'm pissed. You know what I mean? Like, it
Nah,
doesn't do
nah,
anything for
Guy, guy,
me.
that's
nah.
guy, that's a
Bro,
horrible way of
bro,
What
thinking.
do you mean it's
That's a
horrible? Like,
completely horrible
you know
way of
what it
thinking.
means
Yeah.
to die on your sword. This nigga
yo,
is
what do
trying
you
to
mean?
die
Olaitan,
on your
back me up,
sword,
please.
literally. Like this nigga is doing all in his power not to change his position. That's all this is, right? What?
Nigga, I just hate them kids,
No, but I
man.
might
You
not. No,
just
but
hate
do you get where
them
I'm coming
kids.
from, though? Because
Despite
now it's
Nah,
just
we
despite
going
don't
to
get
be
where you're coming from,
despite
no,
bro.
it's going to
It's
all
be a
enough.
reminder.
despite all what he's saying, yeah, he still said he'll probably have kids. Despite everything he said.
I mean, at least one of them. I don't fucking
Do you know how mad that
know.
sounds?
No, but I'm
All
not
the shit,
pressed. Though. I'm not pressed. Wait. I said no.
all
I
the shit
can't.
you're talking about them, right? The fact that you still want at least one, or
No,
you think you
wait.
still have
Relax,
at
relax,
least
relax.
one.
Wait.
That's
Let me clarify my
that's
point.
not
I will only bring a child into this world if I am financially ready. I mean, I am financially. I mean, like there's
What if the
leeway.
child comes by mistake?
uh-huh.
Now that ain't happening to me.
What you
That's not.
What
That ain't gonna
if?
be
They
me.
said, what if?
What if the
What
child comes
if,
by
guy?
mistake? And she will still have to carry it for 9 months now. I have at least 2 weeks. We can talk and decide.
guy? What do you mean?
Nah.
This guy.
Nah, don't cancel me. Wait, don't. No, but wait. Like I said, I'm just talking.
Absolutely.
Wait, no, wait. Let's just talk practically. Too. Now, come on, don't get me wrong. I see where you're coming from. I see where you're coming from. There are advantages, like I said. Yeah, I mean, and those are good advantages. I feel like there are more disadvantages. Some of those disadvantages you can get past mostly with financial means, though. So if there's a lot of leeway, say the boy is suddenly balling, like money day, I've lived life, man is content. Yeah, sure. Like if I talk to the wife, we want children. I'm gonna bring one. Yeah, I mean max two. Yeah, I mean, but that's that's on a money thing. You get me?
Yeah. I
So,
don't it's sad that we live in a day and age where everything has to be transactional, like advantages,
but that's just
disadvantages,
life, though. But that's
cons.
just life.
Nah.
No, but it
There's
is
things
though.
that
That is life.
no,
You remember
this is
that's
what I'm
the
saying.
topic is societal norms. We
I
shouldn't
feel
do
like there's
something just
things
because society dictates.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. No, but society dictating things aside, I feel like there's things that supersede transactional shit like money and finance and all that
But
nonsense that
you said that you have to
life,
take care of the child.
all
You
this
use
life
money for that.
shit. What?
Well, you said use your responsibility to take care of your child. You take care of a child with money.
Yeah, no. What I'm saying is like we're trying to measure the value of something in tangible terms like money
Mm-hmm.
and property and assets and all this
Yeah.
intangible things that go into like
Mm-hmm.
actions we do as human beings that cannot be measured by
Oh, so
money
you're
and
just
all
saying, oh, for the sake of humanity.
not even humanity, like in the same thing that drives people to get married,
Uh-huh.
like whatever internally drives you to get married is the same thing that drives you to have kids. And not that isn't measured by money. That's what I'm saying. Like it's not about
Oh,
it's
okay.
about things. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Okay. I see where you're coming from. That's a good way to put it. The same thing that drives you to have, because there's no, I mean, there are advantages to marriage, though, to be fair. There are
There's
also
advantages to
disadvantages.
marriage, but I'm saying what's the advantages when you say okay, this is the person I want to marry? Yes, there's the things like okay, character, or maybe the guy has some money, but that's not ultimately okay. In some situations, yes, that's what drives you to get married to them. But
Mm-hmm.
ultimately, for most people, like Rose now in the situation he's in now, he's
Mm-hmm.
as far as I know, he's not
Mm-hmm.
providing for a house. He's not providing. monthly allowance. He's not doing. Maybe he is. I actually don't know. But like at the end of the day, like what the things, why they're together is not being measured in tangible terms. Like it's being measured in
Yes.
tangible terms. So that's what I'm trying to get at. Like not everything can be laid out like, oh, what's the advantage? Like tell me now, what's the advantage? Because not everything that's worth it can be said with words, if that makes sense. Like I can't always use my words, especially when I haven't had kids. Like I can't always tell you what it means or the value of having kids, like
Mm,
something you're doing, or once you're in that situation where you can do it, you don't necessarily fully understand what it means to be a parent or what it means to have a child. So yeah.
uh, yeah, I don't know. I feel you, Sha. I feel you, Bob.
You know what like skills, yeah? Let's say we weren't talking about kids. Let's
Yeah,
say we're talking about some earthly asset. Let's say we're talking about a house.
yeah.
And you've laid out all the fucking disadvantages you just laid out
Mm-hmm.
to buy a house in this particular area.
Uh-huh.
There's no fucking way you buy that house.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way you buy that house, but still, that's not all the shit you've just said. You're still like, okay, maybe I'll have one kid.
No, what I'm
Like
saying
that.
is I don't mind. No, I might not buy the house, but I might at least get an apartment. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying.
Whoa, no. Because that house, like, a kid is still a kid, It's not like the kid is
Oh
like
yeah, but the
cancer.
difference between having one versus having 15. No, like I said, no. I'm
If
not
you tell me to buy
disagreeing
a
with you.
house in Lekki and you tell me there's 10 disadvantages to buying this house in Lekki,
Uh-huh.
but there's like two advantages to buying this house in Lekki.
Uh-huh.
As any like sane person with like any sense of business now, see there's 10 disadvantages that heavily outweigh two advantages, I'm probably not gonna buy that house. They're
Mhm.
not even that, but like for you to still think, okay, maybe
Wait, now, okay,
my
yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I never
what
disagreed with you, though.
think
There are advantages, and those are advantages that I would love to benefit from. I mean, yeah, I mean, at least you have a companion, blah blah blah. All those advantages that you might have mentioned. But what I'm saying is, it really just depends. Like, let man's grow up. I'm still youth, innit? I'm still young. So
yeah,
allow me to grow up and decide. I'm not necessarily 100% opposed to it. I'm just edging on the side of, you know what? I am mad if like I have a partner that doesn't want it. I'm not mad at that, honestly.
yeah, that's fine too. I think that's
Yeah,
fine too.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So in this day and age, everybody, listen, the world is overpopulated. You don't have to be selfish. That's all I'm saying. You ain't gotta
All
be
I'm saying
just
is,
because society says you have to, you don't. That's all I'm saying.
yeah, yes, and I agree with that. And I'm also adding that not everything in this world should be measured by tangible, like fucking proof and shit. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, Bob.
Yeah,
Okay.
wait, that's all. That's all. Any close Rose, closing remarks.
Yeah, closing remarks. Yeah, today's episode has been good. I can see Skills had a lot to get off his chest. So
Guy's a born hater, bro.
whoever his wife is, just know that Skills is of the opinion that fuck them kids.
Yo, them things
First
are
of all,
expensive.
and second of all, I just want to say thank you, baby, for joining us. I'm really, really glad
Yo,
that
you
you're
can do this
here.
off pod now. What's going on?
Relax, man. Relax.
What we
Relax, man.
doing?
Relax, please. Yeah, thank you, baby, for joining us. It's really nice to have you here. And we hope to have you on more episodes. And I love you.
Oh my god, I love it too, baby.
Bro, this nigga just dropped that shit on us, man. Like, fuck it up.
I don't even know what to say. Come on, please close
Skills.
us.
Can you hear real love at play?
Yeah, shut your ass. Man.
Skills. You can hear that shit, right? All right. That's what I thought. Anyway, light on closing thoughts, please.
Thank you guys for having me. I I didn't think I was going to enjoy this episode as much as I did, and I guess I'll be coming back for more.
Yeah,
Hey,
please,
hey, we
please.
already have your topic when next you
We
come,
have
by the
next
way. Just
topic for you, actually. Yeah.
I look forward to it.
All right. Come
skills.
on. Anything else?
Oh yeah, I'm the one that. Yeah, this has been very interesting. Of course, we would like to say, bigger roles. What are you
Guy,
doing?
wait for us to finish before you start opening your fucking food now. Ah, fucking hell.
Guy, mute yourself, man. Now skills has to
It's
edit this shit out.
loud. Mute yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to mute this guy. I forgot I could do that. He's muted. So yeah, I'd like to thank our guests for coming on. It's been nice having you. It's always nice to have a different voice as well. Not a male voice, because these niggas, I get tired of hearing these niggas talk. So we look forward to having you on more shows. And in terms of the topic, we've had a long ass debate. I think enough has been said. So yeah, skills. You can close us out.
I thank you guys for listening. Obviously, this has been good. I've enjoyed waffling at you guys for the better part of an hour. And we'll do this again, obviously, next week. Catch us on all platforms. This has been your boys on the Parrot Side podcast. Once again, special thanks to our guest Ft.Olaitan. It's been fun. Olaitan, actually, can you do me a quick favor? Just say this to our viewers. Say, don't send us no feedback.
Don't send us no feedback.
You heard it from Olaitan. You know what it is. Thanks for listening. Peace out.
Peace out, bro.
Rolz, guy.
No, guys, I just had to. I didn't know you guys would do that.